Hello, good morning, and welcome to our today's class section. Who do I have in class? Can you just say hello or hi in the comments so I can know who is present? Please, if you can hear me, kindly notify that you can hear me. Okay, moving forward, welcome to today's class, and we'll jump in straight away. Moving over to my Figma. So during the course of last week, we were able to create this, and it looks so beautiful. And I'm super proud of you all for joining hands in creating this. So we stopped here in our previous class, and we'll be kicking off. Oh, good morning, Amara. Good morning, Amara. Happy to have you in class. So we have this, and this was where we stopped in our previous class. So I'm going to bring the sample that we're working with. I'm going to bring it closer for us to see what we are trying to replicate. So over here we have this write up, this card. The next task is to replicate this. So we have options for espresso, latte, mocha, Turkish, and cappuccino. So what I'm going to do is get my text tool and begin espresso. Espresso. Okay. So I have espresso written. I'll duplicate it. Control D to duplicate, or you hold down your Alt key to duplicate. So I'm going to write, the next one is latte. I'll also duplicate once more. And I have mocha. I'll duplicate again. Control Z. So I have mocha, Turkish, and then cappuccino, 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 cappuccino. So we have these five categories of coffee that this what's it called? This brand is telling us that they are selling. They could have many. So what I'm going to do now is ask ChatGPT to give me more version, because as you can see here, this thing extends. This thing is scrollable. So we're going to do that scrollable effect. So what I'm just going to do is go to my ChatGPT and ask generate different coffee category for my coffee mobile app filters. So let's see what ChatGPT presents. So as you can see from the response, ChatGPT is telling us that they have other types: espresso, americano, cappuccino, latte, mocha, blah blah blah, frap, all these things. So I just need up to 6 or 7 that will give us that scrolling effect. So I already have espresso. I'll copy americano, machito. This I'll also duplicate again. I will come to my machito. Control D to duplicate again. and code blue. So with this now, you can see that I have a list of one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. But there's a problem here now. There is a problem in this interface. This one, two, three, four, five, six, they are inside this frame, but the other two went outside the frame. So let's blind this frame now and see the ones that are inside and the ones that are outside. So I'm going to blind the frame now. Can you see that the other two left the frame? So this could happen in two different ways. So please pay attention to see what I'm going to do now. If you look at this frame now, you can see that this frame is here, but these two, this text, they are outside of this frame. That is why when we blind the frame, you see that. And remember, that's why I usually stress that the frame is the plot of land on which you build upon. So all your designs that you expect to be inside a frame should be inside the frame. Here, looking at it, it seems like it's okay on the page, but on the layer, you can see that that layer is not accounting for it. So it's very important that you pay attention to the position of that element on the layer panel. So we're going to come to the layer and select these two and drag them into this frame. So if you blind this frame now, you can see that everything is inside it. But the issue now is that we can no longer see code blue and machito. But you can see that if I hover on them, it is telling me on the page that yes, it is inside the page. And that is where this element called clip content comes in. When an element is overflowing from a page, from a frame, when an element is overflowing from a frame and we want it clipped together, though it is still inside that frame, but we don't want to be seeing it because everything needs to be properly arranged and clean. You will use clean clip content. So if I want it to still be inside that frame, but I want to see it, see how it looks like, I will unclip. So here now, I unclip the content. Yes, everything is still inside this frame, but unclipping the content enables me to see the other overflowing elements that are inside a particular frame. So I don't know if you understood what I just said, but if you have any question, good morning, Cynthia. If you have any question, you let me know. So all these things are inside this frame, but looking at it, it is overflowing because we unclipped the content. If we if you clip the content, it is still there, but we're not seeing it. But when we unclip it, we see that it is there and we can now see it. So it depends on the current situation you are in. If you're designing and you want to see it, just to keep your mind intact that okay, I have this and this as a beginner, it's you can unclip. But make sure that the elements are inside the frame on the frame layer. So now we need to make this thing appear better. Currently, the spacings around them is not equal, and the font style and the font family, that's the typeface, is inter, and I don't want to use inter. I want to use Poppins. Poppins is a more friendly. Poppins is an example of a friendly font, a font that when you look at it, it is soft, it is warm, it is friendly. So, and I don't want to use 12 as the size. So we're using 16. And also the spacing between each of these words, as you can see, it is mixed, it is varying. Either I set a specific number here or I come here and tidy it up. Even tidying up is not giving me what I want. So I'll come here. You can see it's -4. I don't want -4. So I'll put it at 12. So at 12, it's telling us that every space between each of these elements is 12 pixels. Let's see 16. So you can see it's telling us that the spacing between each of these elements, words, is 16. So we have this. Now that we have this, I'm trying to teach you guys the basic lowest level of doing it before we go professional. So I'm thinking of the right word and which of the basic method I could apply now before. Okay, okay. So basically what I've just done now is arrange these elements. Then what we have here is that the one that is highlighted has a line under it. So what we are going to do is to draw a line here. So here you can get your line element and draw, or you can use your pen tool. You can use your pen tool. So I'm going to tap. If I tap, I'll hold down my shift key to ensure that it's on a straight line, just like I do when drawing a perfect circle. And I tap. So I hit enter. So now I have a line, but it's too fat. I'm going to do this. And also, I want to give it a rounded corner so that it looks more friendly. And also, I'm going to change the font color. Isn't that beautiful? So we are having this. So since this and this belong together, I need to make them a group. So I'm going to hold shift, select this, and control G. I've grouped this. Then also I'll come back here because I need all these things to be a group. So I'll hold down shift, select, 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 and select. Then I will do control G. So now I have this thing as a group. I could have something like this. Then I will now click on this frame and do clip content just to have everything inside this thing. I don't want it to be overflowing because I might mistakenly drag it off during the course of doing other designs. But I want to have something that looks this way. So you can see that everything is still inside the frame, but I've clipped the content. If I unclip it, I can see the overflowing elements. So we have this. So now that we have this, we are going to create our first card. So for our first card, we already talked about how to create what's it called? We already created this what's it called? Rectangle. So instead of doing everything from scratch again, it's all about working smart. So instead of doing everything from scratch again, I'll just come to this rectangle. I've selected it, Control C. I've copied it. So what I need to do is come to this frame, click and Control V. I'll paste I'll paste the rectangle. So what I just need to do is make it a square, because what we have here is a square. What we have here is a square. It has is it a square? It's looking as if it has equal size in all places. So it should be a square. So what I'm going to do now is make sure that the sizes are uniform. Let me do 160 by 160, 160 by 160. So I'm having this. So I've created my square. I also have to check if two of these can contain here to ensure that the sizes are equal. So you can see that yes, two of these can contain here, but this space is too much. That means I have to increase the size of this one. So if I increase the size, yes, you can see that Figma is telling me, can see that Figma is telling me, yes, you're in the middle of this. You're in the middle of the frame already. That is perfect. I will now do Control Shift R to get this. So now that I've gotten two squares that I know that can fit into this thing properly, I can still reduce them if I want, just to ensure that my work is properly balanced. So I'm having these elements. Now the spacings between them is currently 9. Let me do 12. Yeah, I like what 12 looks like. So just for me to position them properly, I'm going to group them now, Control G, and align them to the center of the frame. So now that I've aligned them and they look good, I can now ungroup them. They've stayed exactly where I want them to be. So I ungroup. So if I have something like this, it's not bad. And the spacing between them is okay. I like it too. So What I need to do now is to get my image. The next thing is the image, and this thing is star, the star rating. People from other people's from other users reviews, the ratings they've given this particular coffee, if it is 1.5 star, 3 stars, 5 stars, 6.2 stars as the spirit leads. So what we'll have is maple iced latte. I'm going to look for the image of apple iced latte. So I'll go to Pinterest. I'll go to Pinterest and search maple maple iced latte image. So we have this. Then it's now left for you to decide which of the images you are going ahead with. So I'm going to go with this. And remember what we talked about in our previous class. If you had followed through, I believe that by now your remove BG, the plugin remove BG, should be working in Figma. But if yours is not working, which it should work because it's a first time account, so yours should be working. But if it's not working, for me that I have run out of my free mode, what I need to do is save this image. So I'll save this image and go to remove BG website. So I'll go to remove BG website at removebg.com, and I'll be removing the background that came with my image on their website. But if you had followed through in the last class, there is an easier way to do it in Figma without there is an easier way to do it in Figma without you leaving the Figma interface. Without you leaving the Figma interface. So now that I have this, I'll click on the image and then ask I'll ask to remove BG websites to help me get rid of the background. And it has done that. So I will just download it. And now that it's downloaded, I'll bring it into my Figma. So I'll bring it into my Figma. So now that I have it in Figma, I have to reduce the size using my what scale tool, or make sure that your aspect ratio is locked if you're using what's it called, the move tool to reduce. So I just clicked on K will activate my scale tool. So I'm having this. Yes, so I have to make sure that it's aligned to the center of this rectangle. So I'll click this and click on the rectangle and align to the center and align to the center, ensuring that it is exactly in the middle where I want it to be. So I have this. So now that I have this, the next thing that we have there is to put the star, the star rating. So for this star rating, I'll come back here. For the star rating, I'll go to my shape and click on my star icon. So I'll hold down my star, hold down shift to get a perfect star shape, and I have this. So for my star, I need this color to be there. My star is currently highlighted, meaning that the property being displayed here belongs to my star. So I'll click on the fill, click on the icon, come to the color I want to pick. I can zoom in, Control plus plus to zoom in, then Control plus again if the thing is not showing properly the way I want it. So I'll tap and I've chosen that color that I want my star. Or if you know what the color code is, as you can see, the color code is showing that it is BD871A. Or if I don't like it because it's looking darker, I want it to be shouty, I have increased the opacity. I don't like this particular one that I picked. It's darker. And currently, our interface is brown, which is a dark color, which we are going to change after I build and I see that it is not looking good. But if it's looking good, I will leave it. But if it's not looking good, we'll have to change alternative. But before that, I, considering the yellow shade I chose, it was dark and I don't like it. So I had to push it up to a bright yellow. And we're having this. So we have the text. So for the text, I'm going to get my tool, tap, and I'll say 3.5, and then reduce the size. It's this, I'm reducing the size because it's an important information, but it is not that all important. So that is where hierarchy comes in play. I talked about hierarchy a lot in our design principles. So I'm of the belief that you took your time to also study and get more in depth in it. We have this, and I need to make it balanced. So I'm going to align horizontal, vertical. So you can see that they are looking properly aligned. But if they are not, I will, I can still do it manually by bringing them together and then trying again. Then the spacing between them is 6. I want the spacing between them to be 4. Then I can now group these two as Control G. These two is now a group. I can now move them as a unit. So putting something as a group means you can pack them as a unit. So we have this. The next option we have there, or the next task we have, is to write the maple iced latte, give a brief definition of it, and then the amount it's being sold for. So to do that, I want a font. I'll copy this font, Control C, Control V. It went, and so I have this, and we say the name of the this thing is mapled iced latte. Then the next option we have there is the brief definition of it. So we're having naturally sweet with the rich flavor of maple syrup. Naturally sweet, sweetened with the rich flavor of maple syrup. So we have this. This is another place where the principle of design plays a key role. You can't have the you can't have okay, you can't have the name of the product and the description of the product having the same size, just like we did, just like what we did here. You can see that there is hierarchy in place here. This is telling you that in terms of guiding the user's eyes, you want the users to see the title before reading the content. So that's basically what we have going on in that other place. Now you can see that also this one is in a lighter font size, and also the font size is smaller compared to that of the title. So it's usually advised to show hierarchy between your elements. So now that we have this, it's time to show hierarchy. Here we're having as 16, meaning that here we should be having it as 12. That aside, here we should be having a lighter text. So we're having this. Now, the next thing, we're still going to say if it's too big, we can still reduce it. Remember, I'm teaching you how to do. I'm introducing this design to you as someone that doesn't know anything, so that the way I'm also explaining it, I'm explaining it like I'm teaching a baby, trying to make a baby walk, so that when we go into the how to do it professionally, you won't be lagging behind, and at this very moment your brain can be able to understand what I'm trying to say, to show you that design is not as big and fearful as you think it to be. So the next thing is the price of the product. So here we're having that the product price of the product is $450. So we have our dollar sign, we have 4.50 cents. So we're having this. Another thing you should notice is how I used almost the same size of font with the title for the price. The price is a very key element because we want the user to see that price when they look at it, so that they will not say that they did not see the price. So, because if I make the price, let me say I use the size of 10, the user might not just see this. The user might just see maple iced coffee, but we want their attention to be drawn to the price because the price is a very important element. And also, I can also move ahead to give the price a big font to ensure that enough contracts and hierarchy was given to it, so that nobody will say that they didn't say the price. Now, looking at it, let's see what it looks like. Yes, it is more pronounced. This is 16, this is 12, this is 16. I think we've done a good job. Let me see other fonts, and we have this. Now it is time to group these elements. So to group these elements, this belong, and this will have to go as a unit. So I'm having this and this as Control G. Then I will have this together with this group that I've created as, let me align it to the center and see what it looks like. No, so I'll leave it the way I have positioned it earlier. Let me ungroup it so that you see what I'm doing and not get confused. So this is existing independently. This is already a group. This is already a group. But if I group this and this together and align them against this rectangle, this one is going to shift position, and I don't want it to do that. So I want it to remain here that it is. This one is already in the middle of this rectangle. The positioning is okay. I'll just click, hold on shift and click this other one and Control G. I've grouped them. This is a group, but I will not be aligning it in the middle of this rectangle. Their current position is okay, but I just want them to be a group with the rectangle. So what I will do is hold down shift and click on the rectangle also and Control G. So now this is a group. If I blind it, you can see how many groups. Okay, sorry, I was blinding this other group, not this one. So you can see that they are a group. This rectangle and the element inside it is already a group. So that is well done. Now I have to group these other elements. I'll click on this and click on this. The spacing between them is 4. Yes, I can group them. Control G and click on this other one to group the group and the price. Control G. So I have this group and I have this group. So I'm going to hold down my shift and click on the other group and align them to the left. I need them to be properly aligned. So if I click this, you can see that it is properly aligned, and I can now do Control G. Now I have this as a group. I have this as a unit, which is perfectly and well aligned and clean. So the next thing is, just like I taught you in the onboarding, you don't need to go and start recreating these things from the beginning anymore. What you just need to do is come to your frame. You can increase, when designing, you can increase the length of a frame, but never tamper with the width of a frame. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold down my control key and drag. So control Z now. I'm going to hold down my control key to ensure that every other element I have there stays in the position they are meant to stay. In case, because I know some of you are going to also do that mistake. So if you are trying to, okay, let me not say it, do the right thing and you won't have that problem. But if you have the problem, you have to bring yourself out from it. So I'm going to hold down my control key and extend the length of the frame. While designing, you can increase the length of your elements of your frame, but don't ever tamper, don't ever come here and come and start stretching this thing like this. So Control Z. What I did was to extend the length, not I didn't touch the width. So now that I have this one, Control C. I'll come here, Control Shift R. I have that. So I don't need to come and start redoing that. What I just need to be doing is renaming them, renaming the description and replacing the images. So now that I have these two here now, I'll click on this and click on this, and I'll have to group them. Control G. This is 1 unit. I'll have to alt drag, or you do control D and then place them properly how it should be. But what I did here was to do alt drag. And with alt drag, I have this. So I have to check the space between this and this. If I click here, hold down my shift key, I can see that the spacing between them is 25. The spacing, we are dealing with multiples of 8, so I need them to be 24. And we have this. Is it not looking beautiful? Okay, who is present in class? Do you have any question? So we're having this. Just like I said, the only thing left now is to be replacing the images and the write-ups. So what we have here is hazelnut iced latte. So I'll come here and change the name to hazelnut. Then if the English is different, I'll replace the English. The image is different. What do I need to do? Let me come and look for as hazelnut iced latte. So this is what we have as hazelnut. So we're having it as the hazelnut. What do I need to save the image? Now that I've saved, remove BG background from the website interface. Click on it, then open it. Once I open it, I'll download it. If I download it, I'll come back to my Figma, click on the image. So once you click on the image, this opens up. Where it opens up, you upload from your laptop, from your computer. Then I have this, I'll select. So you can see that it has replaced that image effortlessly without me needing to. If you copy it from the website and drag, you might need to come and start adjusting the size. But looking at the size now, we're having that the sizes are equal 84 by 126. This one was also compressed by Figma to 84 by 126, meaning that the images, their sizes are the same. It's just the what the image looks like that is different, and the names. So you start altering the names where it is needed, or the descriptions that are varying. You put the right description there. So basically, that is that. In some situations, we can have multiples of this going down. So whenever you scroll on your mobile app, even in your TikTok, this is exactly what happens. So you are scrolling, it's just showing you the ones that are coming up, depending on how much of a content is present in that particular category. So here now we have this, and basically we'll have our mobile app ready, but it's not ready yet. So here we are having home tab. So we have the home tab. the QR, the search bar, and the profile icon where the user gets to um, do the needful. So in some situations, you might see designs like this. The normal height for frames from the for the frame we are using is 956. That is the height of it. In some situation, you see something like this. Let me control D so that you see what I'm trying to say. In some situation, currently we have stretched our length to be 1302. So I need it to be 956. So let me come here, right? 956. So you can see that I have dragged the frame up, but the element, which is that clip content I talked about, is still there. So whenever I unclip the content, it will still show me those overflowing elements. And you can still see this other one that we clipped that time. So whenever you unclip the frame, you see its overflowing elements. And when you clip it, it clips it. But that thing is currently present where you left it. Do you have any question? Amara, Cynthia, who is present in class? Do you have any question? So currently, this thing now we are trying to replace it to look like this, even though some elements are still overflowing. But because we've used clip image, because we've used clip content to clip it, we don't really like we're trying to present something. How do I we're trying to represent it without showing those overflowing things that are coming out from it, even though that we know that those things are still there. Based on the visuals, maybe something you want to post on Instagram or this thing, you don't have to come and start showing those overflowing kind of thing. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But moving forward, I'm just showing you that this thing we have here is exactly what we have here. But the problem, or the difference, let me not use the word problem. The difference is that clip image to we used clipped image, and we also reduced the height of this rectangle, of this frame rather, sorry. So the next thing now is to create this, which is basically what's it called, a rectangle. So I will just this because this my rectangle is already we've already done glass morphism on it, and what we have here is a glass morphism design. So instead of starting from the beginning again, which is also a waste of my time, I will just control V. I'll just get it to the position I want it to be. Also increase it. And again, the corner radius, let me use 1000 and see what happens. So you can see that it has a rounded corner radius. And let me check if it's giving what it should be giving. So we're having something like this. So now that I've gotten the size of it, I'm going to bring it out. It's still working inside, it's still hanging inside this frame. So I'll do Control X, copy it, cut it out, because I'm telling it that I need it outside of Figma. I need it outside of the page. Let me work on it. I need to work on it, and sorry, I need to work on it and then take it inside as a unit. So now that we have a sample that we're working with, what do we have? We have that on it, we have a home icon, a search bar, and a human icon. Okay. So this person represented, we have different types of tab bars. There are some that you see the icons just like this. There are some that you see the icons and the name when you activate a particular one. So during the course of our components, you'll be seeing different designs that comes with that. But since we are taking baby steps, just follow me with what I'm doing. So here we have the home icon, the search, and the human icon. So what I'm going to do is go back to our plugins to shop. So in our plugins, I'll be going for, let me go with Iconify, since Feather Icon has proven to be selling only outline icons. So here I'm going to search for home icons, because from our sample, you can see that we have a fill icon. This icon is fill, it has colors inside, while this one is an outline icon. So you can also see the difference that when this person is trying to tell you that when the icon is not activated, it is on stroke icon, that is linear icon. But when it is activated, it shows you that it becomes fill icon together with the name. So that's how this designer is differentiating the state of each icon tab. So here I'm going to click and here I'm seeing that you can see that Iconify gives you multiple options. You can get the same icon and also get the fill icon of it and get the stroke icon of it. So it now depends on which one you want to go with. So I'm going to click on this and import. It has entered, and I'm also going to click on this and import, and it has also entered. So the next thing we have there is the search icon. So for the search icon, we could use this as the fill icon. So we have this to also show our different states. And then we can have this as the, did it enter? Okay, search icon has not entered yet. Okay, this other one did not enter. So we now have that. So the next one we have is the profile. So the profile icon is the one that shows you the human silhouette. So we could use this as the fill. This is the fill version of it, and this is the stroke version of it. So now we are done shopping. It's time to go back and implement what we have. Do you have any question? No, no. The clip content is not the same as blind icon. The clip content is there, but you don't. There's some designs that you'll be doing, the overflowing element will be too much. And looking at it, it will not be giving you that sweet feeling of everything being organized. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's not be giving you the feeling of everything being organized. But for you to show the developers that enough things are still inside this thing, maybe for them to see that it's an overflowing this thing, overflowing interface, you can unclip it for developers to see the outcome. But let's say some you want to upload it as pictures on Instagram or any other way. You need it to just appear as a mobile app. You don't want that overflowing element to be there so that people will not think that your work is scattered. And let me use that scenario of feeling scattered. But we know designers know that it is not scattered, it's an overflowing thing. But clip element just helps you organize, just show that it is neat, clip everything together and not show those overflowing thing. But blind is that it is there, but you don't want to see it at all. Like it is not functional. And let me use the word functional. Clip element is that those elements are still functional. It's part of the design. But blind is that you don't feel like using that thing again, but you don't want to delete it. I don't know if you understand, Amara. So if you understand, you can say yes, understood. Let me know that you understood that. So blind icon is like, I don't want to use this thing again, but I don't want to delete it. Maybe in my next design, I can just blind it and take that sample from there. But clip is, this is part of the design. It is functioning together with every other thing that is part of the design at this very moment. But I don't just want it to be overflowing and making my design interface look scattered. Did you understand what I said? So now we have what's it called? We have this. We have this. You can see that I'm dragging these icons by their frame. I'm not dragging them by their body, because most times if you drag by their body, you'll be scattering them. So you take them by their frame, just like the same way you do for your this thing. You take them by the frame. So you can see that I'm clicking on the frame, not clicking on the body to come and start dragging them or scattering their this thing. Because there are some that you bring, and once you drag them like that, it might scatter, and you might get confused, not knowing where your problem is coming from. So I'm dragging them by their name, which is dragging them by their frame. And as you can see, they all came by a default size of 24 by 24. So icons usually come by the default size of 24 by 24. So now we are doing the first state, which is when nothing is activated. But you can't say nothing is activated, because once you enter the app, you should be seeing the home page, meaning that the whole home page is by default activated. So what this person should have done here is show us the page that is currently activated, and then tell us that the home page is now in the outline mode because it is not what is currently activated. Okay, well done, Amara. So by default, if I enter a mobile app, by default, I've launched myself, or the mobile app have launched me into the home page. So this is what our home page should look like. It should start with the home icon, which is the field to show that this particular one is currently active. So we're having this, and we need what's it called, a name for it. So the font size I would like to do that with, let me use the font size for this text. So I'll copy it, come here, Control V. Why is this thing? It went and replaced where I got it from. So I dragged it out. So now that I've dragged it out, I'll just, okay. The rectangle is being selected. Let me push it to the back, send it to the back, so that when I click it will. So I'm having home. Then I'll click on this and change the font color, the icon color to white. So I'm having this. So we're having it in the center, meaning that this should align to the center. Perfect. So now I'll group them. Hold these two, hold both of them together, and Control G. I have I have this. So in this particular design, what we have is three icons. Let's check other samples we have here and see. You can see that this one is four. One, two, three, four. And you can see how this one shows that it is active. This one shows that it's active by turning to the color of the app and by showing this circle. In this design, the tab icon doesn't show that it is active by displaying the name. It shows that it is active by displaying the color and this dot icon. Let's see how this one does its own. So in this one now, it shows that it is active by the color becomes more clear, while other icons that are not active are faded. It uses the color contrast to show which one that is active and which one that is faded. So let's check another one. Is that all? Okay, for example, now let me use see how this person displayed all their design in this thing. If this person did not use clip content, if they didn't use clip content, some of the elements would have been overflowing and being becoming scattered if they tried to represent this their design like this for them to upload in Figma or upload on behance.com or upload on Dribble. But when you use clip content, it clips it and makes it clean. And when you start putting your designs like this, one at a time, you see that they will properly align. But if you didn't use clip content, if you exported your image, you see things that are overflowing and causing uh, more distractions. So I don't know if you understood what I've just said, or yeah, I hope you understand it because you already say you understood it. But I use that to show you more example. So here now you can see how this person did theirs. This person didn't show any hierarchy at all in their. Everything is just the same. Everything is just being okay. In this very one, let's see what happened. In this very one, you can see how they showed the one that is active by the color becomes more visible. The brand icon is used as a toggle, as a line to show the one that is active, and other ones are being faded out. So you can check your apps like your Facebook, your TikTok, your WhatsApp, your Instagram, Twitter, and see what the tab icon looks like when you activate a particular section. So that's basically what I'm trying to bring your attention to. So the next thing we have there is the the search icon. So I need the search icon to be in the middle of this rectangle. So okay, it's currently in the middle. Then we'll have this icon. And you can see how Figma is helping me align them properly. So we have that they are also in white, but their white is faded. Their white is faded. So to give that contrast, we are going to first of all put them in white. Let me align them. So I'll align them, put them in white. One, two, three, four, five, zero. So I told you that. mm, so this is another different shade of white. This is what we call ivory white. It is not pure white. Pure white is FFFFF into 6. FFF into 5 and 10 gives you ivory white. So this white and this white now, they're not the same thing. This is FFF into 6. This is FFF into 5 with a 0 at the end. Let's do another F 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. So you can see that this gives me a different color entirely out of the listing. So these are the things you have to pay attention to. So in order to just show more discrepancies between this and this, I'm just going to play with the opacity and reduce the opacity to 70. So you can see that I've kind of created a contrast between this and this. But if I don't want to use that FFF, I can still use my normal FFF. But you can see that I've altered them. I've created a difference between them using the opacity. So I'm going to select these three, arrange them vertically center. The spacings around them, let me adjust their spacings by clicking here and asking Figma to tidy them up. So Figma is tidying them up and telling me that the spaces around them is 116. Let me align to the center. Okay, it's showing that it's currently aligned to the center. Then Control G to group them, and I will now hold down my Shift key and align them to the center of this rectangle. So we are having this. So Control G, I now have them as a unit. So since I have them as a unit or as a group, I can now do Control X. I can cut it, come back to my Figma page where I need it to be, and do Control V. So if I do Control V, which is paste, I didn't say Control Shift arrow, Control V to paste. But you can see that it is at the back of this other element. I can either control it from here, or I'll just right click and say bring to front. I need it to be the one in the front. Sorry, Control Z. So I need it to be the one that is in front. But right now, this thing is contrasting. Why? Because this our background, like this our tab, that place that has all this home, search, and this thing, it is also white in color. So let me do something to know if it is really in the back. Control Z. Okay, it's the one. Control Z. It's telling me that it's the one with linear as the distance. So let me just do some play around to ensure that it is properly placed. So you see that it is back. This maple thing is over, is on top of it. So Control Z. Then if Control Z. So if it doesn't work that way, let me find a better solution to it. Am I the only one, or is it looking as if they? Let me see what is happening in the group. So the reason why this thing is looking transparent is because our this thing, our our background is, it's what's it called? It's transparent, and the transparency is also helping us to see the things that are behind it. So that's why you see that if you create something like this, you see that the design is flawed, and it's now left for you as the designer to find a better solution to it. So let's see what these people did here. Their background is not as transparent as ours. So let's try playing with the background and see if we could do something better. Okay, yes. Okay. Yes, as you can see, this element is on top of this other one. But when we had it as normal transparency, because it is white and it's transparent, it is also giving us the ability to through see through the rectangle and see the things that are at the back of it. But glassmorphism is not complete without a background blur. So this rectangle is already transparent, and it's giving us 100% transparency, making us see the things that are behind it. So it is a see-through. But to create a glassmorphism effect in Figma, we have what we call, once we have achieved the transparency, we want to control how transparent it is. That's where effect comes in play. So when we come to effect, we have drop shadow. If you click here, you can see the options. You can see the options. So these are new to Figma. It's a new experience in Figma. But what we're working with is the background blur. We want the background to be blur. So when we click on background blur, you can see that it has blurred out all those elements at the back of it. Here is giving you the option to control how blur you want it to be. Do you want it to be 40% blur? So you can see that when I made it 40% blur, you can see how it's blurred out like I can't see through again. I can't see through to see other elements behind it. So let's see what progressive does. Progressive gives you the ability to control it just like we do in, what's it called? In gradients. Progressive helps you to control how blurry you want it to be. Do you want it to blur from this angle? Do you want it to blur from the other angle? It's now left for you to, just like you do in gradient blur. Progressive gives you the ability to do the same thing. So now we have something blurry like this. So we have something blurry like that. So you could either work with that. No, Control Z. I need to move them as a group and bring them down. So this one, I'll push it up so that it can still be visible for what I'm trying to achieve. So we're having this. I don't know. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? I'm listening. If you have question, you can ask. So with that, we'll look at our work, or we'll look at what we've designed so far. So in some designs, you could see the designer do something like this. So Control C, let me come here. Control V. Con- so Control V, I'm having this. It will just be hanging here. The developer already knows what to do. It's developer knows that this is overflowing, and it is expected that on the mobile app, the phone size, every phone size or the specific phone size they are designing for, meaning that the length will stop at here and every other thing should be scrollable. So sometimes you could see something like this. It's still part of the design. Let me adjust the size of this. So do you have any question? Who is in class? Is it Amara or Cynthia? So with what we've done, I don't know if you have any questions. If you don't, I believe so far so good. You guys must have gotten the hang of what all this is all about. And I think it's time for us to take this step to being more professional. So in today's class, or today's assignment, is that you will be creating this other section. This section, you will be creating it together with this other section. So I will just quickly export. I'll quickly export this image and send to Figma. Sorry, and send to Discord. So I'll send it to Discord for you guys to replicate. Okay. Okay. So I'll be expecting you guys to replicate these remaining frames. And if you can successfully do that, which I have given you guys the grace to practice like newbies from here, here, to here. So by now, we should have gotten a grasp of what the whole thing is all about. Because moving forward, we have to start speaking like designers, doing it professionally like designers, and we'll be talking about auto layouts, talking about components, talking about what's it called, prototypes and the rest of it. So the game just got serious right now. We've played enough, and by now, if you have been following and listening carefully to what I've been saying, this should be a walk in the park for you. And if you haven't, or if you don't have any questions so far from all the classes we've had, this is this what I've just done is really, nobody would teach you in this detailed style that I've just done it. They will just show you how to use Figma, and that is that. So if you have been taking this class for granted, or you haven't been paying attention to everything I'm saying, I am intentional with everything I say. I purposely, yes, you can send the assignment to the email. I purposely give you scenarios where you have been with a lot of students, even physically, and these are the mistakes they tend to make. And that was why I had to start this class teaching you as a noob. Even if you give these videos to a child that listens and pays attention, he or she should be able to follow through and become a product designer. So I'm intentional with everything I say, and I'm intentional about re-repeating. Most times you hear me re-repeating myself just to make sure that I am drawing emphasis to what I'm saying. Nobody will break this thing down the way I have done it. And that's because I have been with a lot of students and they keep making the same mistakes. And I had to look for a better way to teach these things without them being more confused. And I'm so happy that trying it out with you guys seem to be understanding. But it's when I see begin to see your Figma designs or your Figma links, then we will know if you are truly paying attention. So for the assignment, that is for the PDF, send it to the email. And also this design, I will be looking at your own Figma files next. Okay. Okay. Let me point this out. This Friday, our class will also hold tomorrow. This Friday, I will be going for a program, another conference. So I won't be available on Friday. So our class will hold today. Today's one is done. So the next one is tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow, I'll be looking at your own Figma files to see what you've done so far. And probably by next week, we'll start designing like professionals. So if you have any question, please let me know. And I don't think I have any other thing to say. Yeah, I've informed you that the class will also hold tomorrow. I will not be present on Friday. So the assignments, send it to the email. And for the designs, I'll be checking your own Figma links tomorrow. So that link where you've been doing everything, practicing, no matter how scattered it is, I would like to see it. It will help me to see your reasoning pattern and the things you've been trying out. So I need to see your Figma file, all the rough works you've been doing there. Just bring it as it is. You'll be dropping the link for me to access, and then we can discuss how you can get better and the things you are doing wrong and the things you could do right. So, with that being said, thank you for your presence today, and I'm glad we had this section. So, if you have no other question, that will be all. Bye.